Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something that's absolutely crucial for any organization: how to keep your business running, but more importantly, how to protect your team when a disaster strikes. We live in a world where major disruptions are kind of just becoming the norm, right? You really can't predict when or where your employees' safety might be compromised. So, we're going to unpack a multi layered framework to help you build a real, resilient safety net.
Just imagine this scenario for a second. You wake up to a catastrophic storm. The regional infrastructure has completely collapsed. Within hours, everything just goes dark. No power, no water, no internet. You literally can't even call 911. Maybe your car is stuck under a fallen tree, the fridge is out, and there is zero chance you're logging into work. You are suddenly profoundly isolated.
And here's the crazy thing: that level of profound isolation isn't just some statistical anomaly anymore. To put this into perspective, historically, between 1980 and 2024, the US averaged about 9 major natural disasters a year. But if you look at just the past 5 years, that average has skyrocketed to 23 major events annually. Crisis events are the new reality, which means this is a scenario organizations absolutely have to proactively plan for. So, how do we do that? Well, it all comes down to this idea of a shared ecosystem of responsibility. True disaster resilience isn't just a top-down mandate from the CEO. It's a web of interconnected duties. When a crisis actually hits, everyone, from the brand new hire all the way to the executive board, has a very specific, critical role to play in keeping the organization and its people safe and functioning. We're going to explore this framework across 4 interconnected levels of work: individual readiness, frontline leadership, institutional infrastructure, and systemic risk management. Let's start right at the micro level with level 1, individual readiness. Individual preparedness is absolutely your primary line of defense right before the communication infrastructure fails. We're talking about empowering your team to act fast. That means training them to literally drag their current working documents into the cloud the exact second a severe weather warning hits. It means having an offline, physical record of key corporate contacts. And this is kind of wild, but it involves knowing how to leverage modern tech, like using emergency SOS via satellite on compatible smartphones to send low-bandwidth updates when standard cell towers go totally offline. Zooming out a bit, we move to level 2, frontline leadership. In a crisis, a manager's role completely transforms. They have to instantly drop the whole project manager tracking deliverables hat and become an empathetic operational lifeline for their team. It's a real journey, moving sequentially from phase 0 pre-disaster prep, like grabbing people's personal email addresses, all the way to phase 4, reintegration. And in that final phase, it's about systematically easing people back into tasks, not just demanding an immediate return to normal productivity. But let's look at that critical phase 1, the first 24 to 48 hours. When disaster strikes, managers have to try to reach out via fallback channels like SMS. But step 2 is a total game changer. They must explicitly mandate a stand-down order. Why? Because it completely relieves the affected employee of their work duties. It eliminates any of that nagging guilt or anxiety about missing deadlines when they are literally just trying to survive. From there, managers establish realistic, low-bandwidth check-ins that respect the employee's dwindling battery life. Moving right along, we build into level 3, institutional infrastructure. While managers are handling the human element, the organization itself has to provide the structural scaffolding to operate at scale. We're talking systems that deploy automatically. Things like emergency mass notification systems that can instantly blast text and voice alerts to specific regions, alternative hotlines for isolated staff, and crucially, guaranteed payroll and administrative support. That means automatically approving administrative leave blocks so employees know they're still getting paid even if they can't submit a timesheet. Notice the massive paradigm shift here. Normally, if an employee is unreachable, it's an unexcused absence, right? But during an active regional disaster, that policy has to flip instantly. Unreachable now defaults to an assumption of presumed utility loss or physical danger. It's a codified way of saying, hey, your physical safety unequivocally supersedes our business deliverables. Finally, we reach the macro view, level 4, systemic risk management. This level is where HR and operations really have to align. Think about internal comms. An information vacuum just causes panic, so you need clear messaging to reassure the broader team that backup systems are active. But more importantly, it stops a huge hidden danger: concerned colleagues flooding a victim's phone with check-in texts. Every single "Are you okay?" ping dreams their precious mobile battery they might desperately need to call for a rescue. At the exact same time, operations teams have to map out technical safeguards to keep the business running. Say a key administrator goes offline. You need secure break glass protocols to gain emergency access to critical systems. You need mobile device management platforms to remotely lock unmonitored devices during abrupt power failures to prevent data corruption. And you absolutely have to utilize structured peer coverage, shifting responsibilities to completely different teams in unaffected time zones.
This layer also demands continuous automated cloud backups for all active code bases and working documents, so covering personnel can just jump right in seamlessly. And it means staging physical disaster kits in localized inventories. Picture this: Pelican cases fully loaded with pre-configured laptops, mobile hotspots, and massive auxiliary power banks, just waiting to hit the ground the minute the roads reopen. So let's bring it all together. True disaster readiness is not just some dusty policy document sitting in a drawer somewhere. It's a highly coordinated, multi-layered framework. When you actively pair individual readiness with structured frontline leadership, clear institutional governance, and robust technical safeguards, organizations can successfully fulfill their duty of care while keeping everything stable during a severe disruption. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to take a hard look at your own team's current readiness posture. The frequency of these events is literally only going up. So I'll leave you with this provocative question to consider. Individual, manager, institutional, or systemic risk, which of these four levels is your organization currently failing to protect?